You know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. I'm here. I got Dude Sims all the way from California. He saw a show that I did saying that a female that was speaking was Big U's sister. And instead of making a video trying to eat my back out, he was on some man time. He caught me and he said, yo, homie, that's not his sister. So I'm gonna bring him up so you know who he is, and he's gonna explain what that is to clarify, to put what I said in perspective, because all we do is bring the facts here. All right.
Salute, salute, Mecca.
Yeah, all right. What's up, family? Round of applause to Stu Sims. All right, round of applause. Hey, yo, family. Please tell them who you are and where you from.
Okay, for those who don't know, I'm Duke Sims, the Don. I'm CEO of Active Chucks Entertainment, Active Chuck Charitable Org, 501c3 in Los Angeles, and the president of Thug Torious G's, which is my publishing company, registered with ASCAP since 2003, man. I'm also run the Damu and Keyway Conversations podcast with my host, Yael, the Keyway pop star. And we are the official voice for everything Big U. Big U was never an internet type dude. He's a community dude, right? I can't even say street dude because the street stuff he used to do isn't what he necessarily focuses on today. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, we're the official voice for Big U, the Damu Kiwe Conversations, man.
All right. So you called me, right? He contacted me and he let me know that the female, when I said that it was Big U's sister, was telling on him. He said it wasn't Big U's sister. So clarify that and tell the people who she is, because we don't want to put out false propaganda over here at Unique Mech Audio. So clarify that from the West Coast. All right.
Right. Well, she's a female that grew up in the Rolling 60 community, one of the original homegirls at that, right? And she was used to live on off Slauson and like Fourth Ave. I know her daughter personally, Marquita Keita, you know what I'm saying? And she neither one of them are positive, but because they grew up over there and she was such an original over there, they had a relationship with Big U to where, in the community, you'd be like, hey, auntie, hey, uncle, for those in the community who might be there for your family financially when things and times is hard, might loan y'all some peanut butter to go with the jelly that y'all got when things is hard. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things until Mama Lisa was excommunicated from the community. There was an actual meeting where she was accused of working with law enforcement, and they excommunicated her. They didn't do anything to her or nothing like that, but she was just no good within the community. You know what I'm saying? From that, she jumped on Clubhouse and she was clout chasing. So I asked Big U, I'm like, hey, how is you related to Mama Lisa? Like, I'm really believing that she like his sister-in-law or something, right? And he was like, Mama, I'm not related to no Mama Lisa. He said, man, I don't even F with that woman. You know what I'm saying? And that was crazy, was about last Ramadan, because I remember he didn't want to curse. You know what I'm saying? He's a practicing Muslim. He's still fasting right now, and even going through the war he going through with the sister. But he definitely spoke of her name negatively with negative connotations. He told me she has no blood relation to him. So it's just some of these dudes for clickbait or whatever might put that up there, and she's identifying herself as that, and people could run with it. But she has no ties to Big U. Even around the rolling 60s, she was already excommunicated. So she really doesn't have no validation and really trying to clout chase and utilize his name. In fact, she has more of a relations with Whack 100 than she does with him. How is that your brother, but you dealing with and have close relationship with, looking for economic support from someone he's accusing, and said is the reason that one of the reasons that these people are investigating him for these crimes, that this complaint was filed, because indictment has yet to drop, which is something crazy. You investigate a person for 4.5 years, almost 5 years, and then the complaint is filed and I'm arrested, and we go to court and they still haven't unsealed an indictment. That lets you know that there's a lot of fabrication. The U.S. Assistant United States Attorney is having some kind of issues with convincing the grand jury of these alleged crimes. But as you've seen, it's all throughout the news. It broke the internet, and they basically was buck breaking the brother with all of the worst accusations, which obviously to this point they have not been able to prove to a grand jury.
That was well said. That was well said. But now, what did you think? Where was you at when you heard this? That they was picking them up, and like where was you at, and what was you thinking? What went through your mind when you first heard it, and where was you physically at? I wonder how you emotionally
I'm
felt.
physically. I moved to Wisconsin now. I live in Madison, Wisconsin.
Wherever you was at,
right? But I was at home. It was about 6:30 my time. So about 7 o'clock my time. So 5 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time, and I get a call from our thing. Every morning we have conference calls with the whole team, right? You have the Damu Kiwe conversations. These are the best conversations. Forget the content that we run online. These be the most personable conversations where we could be talking about anything going on. It could be about Donald Trump and what he's trying to got going on. It could be about the police unaliving unarmed people. And we build, and besides that, we let each other know what's the topic of the day, what we focusing on. Sometimes heavily lately it's been about the mobile app, the Unique Music, UNEEK music.com app that he got coming out, and then the You Find It app, right? UFINDIT, right? That he already had in production. It's, almost complete. He had invested all his money into that. To films, he kind of left the music alone. On the Unique Music app, he offers distribution, a Black-owned company, melanated guys like us, own company that offers the same distribution that DistroKid does, but they're offering it for free. And there's other things you can do on there, posts, videos, hashtags already within the algorithm that will be followed throughout the World Wide Web. You could go to Rooms to Gamble. It's like how you got the Clubhouse app. He has something similar to that, but instead of just being a picture representing this person, you can actually video chat, and you can see through camera everybody in the room, unlimited amount of people in the room. So we've been mostly focused on that. But I get the call. Shout out to my brother Kenny Kingpin, and he like, you heard what happened? I'm like, nah. He was like, they in Big U house right now. So I'm thinking that maybe Big U was at home, and but he wasn't. And so I seen that they had set up the FBI press conference for 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, and I started calling around different people that's within our circle. None of our other people were arrested. Big U's developing options administrative people were locked up. You had Bear Claw arrested. He's since bailed out. And then you had Vay arrested. He's since bailed out. And then you had a couple dudes that I knew on there. Well, I don't know Luce Coochie Cannon personally, but as far as the character going back and forth on the internet, we the one that nicknamed him Luce the Liability because of his ability to lie, right? But I seen him up on the news, and then I seen Brick Baby, who I talked to the day before, Free Brick Baby, and he was with his kids as usual. He's always, when he's not doing his business or entertainment, he spends a lot of time with his daughters and his children in the car. On his lives, you see him, and he was telling me he was going to interview Luce Coochie Cannon that day. So he like, send me some questions that you want me to interview him. So I text him the questions, assuming that the interview would be via the internet. You know what I'm saying? Because that same day, Loose Coochie Cannon was caught by Nipsey Hussle's big homie, Cowboy. If you're not familiar with Cowboy, I think he's Little Thundercat from Rolling 60s, and Nipsey Hussle was Baby Thundercat from Rolling 60s. He caught Loose Cannon somewhere in Vegas and put hands on him, and that I released that video 20 minutes after the incident. I was able to get that, release that video. That was going viral. So once he said that, I text him, ask him about how many punches landed, did he feel? And I'm texting all of that stuff. So I see they had him. And I've been to the feds, and I've seen people, especially for California, catch possession, ex-convicts in possession, ex-felons in possession of firearm cases. And the state district attorney rejects picking up the claim, knowing that the feds would pick it up if they could prove that the serial numbers are scraped off, or that the gun was manufactured outside of California, meaning that it traveled through interstate commerce, making it the feds be able to have jurisdiction. So I knew that they had that and had dismissed it. So I was pretty familiar with that. And I was just like, well, more than likely, they gonna come for me. So once the complaint dropped, I'm like, complaint? What's it? If they raid him, why the indictment ain't passed? That was my first thing. But like, I got arrested on Friday on a conspiracy to armed bank robbery, go to Torrance police station. Saturday and Sunday, there was no movement. Monday morning, the FBI agent Jacqueline Ruiz brought a van, took all of our clothes for evidence, gave us white jumpsuits so they could put our clothes in the evidence. When we got to court, they had the arraignment and read us the grand jury indictment that day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, wait, they said this investigation started 4.5, 5 years ago, and they still haven't brought back an indictment? The gravity of that was just crazy. Then it was the homicide of a 20-something-year-old young brother out in Las Vegas. And I had heard Whack 100 and 600 parading on the internet, a conversation. They said that the kid's mother, whose body was found in Las Vegas, is telling them that they found Big U's DNA up under the fingernails of the victim, right? So I'm like, that don't make no. If they got that on anybody, you're going to jail that day. You know what I'm saying? And the grand jury would have easily passed that. That's some very incriminating evidence. So, but you can't believe nothing that Whack 100 or Loose Cannon say. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't believe, wasn't buying what they were selling off the gate. But I seen that they had charged them had a complaint, filed a complaint about the homicide. I seen that they filed a complaint about a Big U enterprise, which I never heard about. I've been in the streets of Los Angeles all of my life. So as far as gang affiliations and organizations, that was something that I never heard. But I guess that's how they're trying to do it, to get the RICO and or a continual criminal enterprise, trying to connect him essentially to criminal acts that he may or may not have had any connection to. You know, that's how the feds work. Then I seen that they had him for extortion. And the craziest part, when I'm reading the complaint, the extortion that we're hearing about is the exact same extortion claims made by Loose the Liability Cannon on No Jumper and on Academics page, right? So I got the video footage where DJ Academic is talking to Loose Cannon and his who he claims to be his wife, Sharice Mills, but he's still legally married to Gigi. When I tell you Loose the Liability, his ability to lie, that was one of the reasons why we named him that, because he even lying about still being married to Gigi. But shout out to Gigi, gorgeous. He downgraded, believe me. But I remember academics saying, well, Wack ordered me to do this interview. And I said, he definitely had made him do that interview where Luce implicated Big U into the extortion of Meek Mills and the extortion of Rick Ross. He implicated him in the distribution of firearms to Crips. He didn't say which Crips from 60s, but he said he had 20 guns. And then he implicated Big U into knowing about the Nipsey Hussle being unalive. And he said that Big U called 30 minutes before Nipsey Hussle was unalive, saying, hey, they shot Nipsey, right? And he was like, what? So he said they were filming a reality show, so he's going to prove that he's on the phone with video audio footage of Big U calling in and telling him that. This was a ploy to promote his now defunct reality show, right? We watch it. Now it's not video footage. He went and copied and pasted a picture of Big U he took offline and put it with a picture of him that was still on his social media page with the beard and everything, with the exact date or whatever, which shows that he was manufacturing this false evidence, defaming Big U. And No Jumper received the defamation takedown notice for that, which they did take down because their attorneys told Adam 22 that this situation was leaning towards a libel case. So this dude Luce had already been trying to get Big U in jail. But remember, once they did the takedown notice, Vlad interviewed Adam 22, and he said that his hands was kind of folded because his agreement with Wack 100 is that he can't edit out nothing that they say or do when they're running their show. And he didn't know Loose Cannon, and Wack 100 was adamant about getting Loose Cannon on here. Your enemy. So now you bring in and orchestrating and promoting someone implicating your enemy in murders, implicating your enemies in extortion, and implicating your enemy. Well, that's all within the complaint. This is the evidence that they're using against Eugene Henley Jr., Big U. You know what I'm saying?
But tell them again who they are, who you is, so that they know who you are and what's your role right now.
Yeah, man. I'm Deuce Sims, man. My role is CEO of Active Chucks, is to continue to put out music, film, executive producing and management, artists, consultation to artists on how to properly register the intellectual property. I think 2023, $427 million went unclaimed in black box monies. Artists who don't know how to properly register, or their managers don't know how to properly register their music. And so I teach that, run my podcast, and like everybody else, man, struggle with all the inflation, these high ass bills, and the cost of living. You know what I'm saying?
Eggs cost more than anything right now in America. Eggs.
I mean, they 10 something plus tax, $11 for a dozen out here in Madison, Wisconsin right now. That is crazy, right? I said I'm finna just buy some chickens, right?
And put them in the yard.
The ones that give you one a day, I probably get about 10 of them. Get 10 eggs a day. It's a better investment, right? And you can make sure you know what you feed them. You ain't got to worry about no steroids and all that. But for Big U, I'm loyal to Big U because that brother supported me first and foremost. We had business ventures together. When I had released Wack 100 Exposed at CS2 back on World Star Hip Hop, I had put together that documentary, paid people to edit it, and I wasn't getting enough spin for people to understand what was going on. Well, he had plugs at World Star Hip Hop. Now, mind you, Whack 100 didn't defame my name. He called me an informant, said I was in witness protection in Madison, Wisconsin for 14 years. But mind you, he didn't already called and they like, who do Simp? That's the homie. What's up? We need to pull up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no. And I could play audio where he says that he validated that and he got so much respect for me. But when I called him out for a fight, from there, I got the paperwork on Lamonte, right? That's my real name, right? So him defaming me, saying that I ran off with a trainee. And listen, my girl Maria is all woman. Trust me, right? That hot tamale right there. But look, in any event, so for when this dude was defaming my name, disrespecting me as a man, which is something I'm not accustomed to. Maybe the rest of the world, I've been in prison and in the streets my whole life. I'm not accustomed to accepting any disrespect. I don't care if he was a 6'8", 300-pound murderer, right? You gonna give me that same respect, or you gonna deal with what come with it. Now, if you can deal with what come with it, just stand on your business when you see me. You know what I'm saying? Because when I see you, I'm going to stand on my business. You know what I'm saying? I'm not letting that go unscathed. But
you just saying that in general, though.
Yeah, in general. That's anybody.
Yeah, let's clarify that. Yeah, because we don't shoot shots at people that ain't here at the minute.
Yeah. Just in general, bro.
Okay.
So to strengthen my voice on the internet, Big U was there for me and offered me the connection with World Star Hip Hop. We released that video in the first 4 days. It did 3 million views. It broke the internet, also exposing Whack as confidential source 2 back. Since then, he had an attorney firm take it down, file a defamation case. World Star Hip Hop said, just filed a motion to dismiss. That was last month under anti-slap laws, saying that he's trying to stop our free speech. And then I filed a $5 million demand against him, World Star Hip Hop, and YouTube. So we're caught up in litigation on that right now as we speak. So while all of that's going on, I had maybe at the time 1,500 subscribers. And I wanted to do this YouTube stuff full time without having to work. I run my businesses. I got this other stuff going on. My documentary based on my life story, highlight mental health. But I can't do it all. I don't have the time, right? And I need a solid income that just keep the lights on, so I can focus on building this platform that we got, the Damu Kiwe Conversations. Well, Big U linked me up with some Arab brothers. I ain't gonna give up their name to the plug. You don't give up your plug, right? And out to Shy, to who had used to have the Splitterillo blunts, right? Well, now they rebranding themselves, and one of the people they used in the rebranding was Big U face on the color wraps. So he had to deal with them already. So now he introduced them to me, and we have make a strategic alliance where I would market and promote them for 6 months, and in return they would pay me $3,000 a month, which would allow me to pay all of my responsibilities and anything else that I hustled up and made, booking artists, consultations, or whatever. I was able to continue to stack. You know what I'm saying? So for a brother to stand up for me, fight for me, I just want to ensure that the brother is getting a fair trial. I mean, you look at the news. Oh, he was a fraud. You can't tell me he wasn't taking care of those kids. There's not one person in Los Angeles history that looks like us that done more philanthropy in my life that I've witnessed firsthand. More philanthropy in my life in Los Angeles than Big U. There's no black male or melanated king, you know what I'm saying, in Los Angeles that spends more time with other people's children than Eugene Henry. Not only did he get his son to the NFL, growing up in South Central Los Angeles. And that's a whole nother thing. People, oh, you need to get your money, you leave the neighborhood. Why would you finally find some kind of success coming from a community who lacks resources, lacks opportunities, and take those resources away from the place that they're most needed, from the place that they're most needed, when you can utilize those resources to help build within that community? And that's what Big U did. And he got his son to the NFL. He got my homeboy Flossie, who's a blood from my hood, right? He about 2 years younger than me. That's my brother's best friend. Got his son in the NFL, in the college and in the NFL. And there's dozens of other stories like that. He's not just putting kids in the NFL and not prisons, but he's also taking females, getting them on the cheerleader team and helping them graduate and get into college, focus, so they don't end up in the strip club. On top of that, he works the gang intervention. They said that he was lying. He was defrauding the government. He wasn't doing intervention. I don't know the finance disputes or whatever miscalculations was going, because that's not my business. But what I do know is people lie. Women lie, men lie, but numbers don't. The statistic for gang violence in the grid has been on the decrease in South Central Los Angeles for over a decade. A decade. And Big U, with his diplomatic skills, communication skills, relationships with other gangs, specifically like me, a known reputable Fruittown Brim member, right? A Damu, a blood, right? And a whole bunch of other Van Ness Gangster Brim, the worst enemies, Brim's worst enemies, right? Eight-Tray Gangsters, Melvin Farmer, right? All the way to the East Coast is his time in the street as an active gangbanger, as a criminal. He was able to build relationships with and respect with a lot of these dudes, whether on the streets and in the penitentiary. And he became kind of like the glue to put out fires before fires even start. See, I can understand why the feds can say that, oh, well, we don't see the results, even though that the statistics show that gang violence has been down for over a decade, and he's one of the most integral parts of that. But because they don't see people getting calls, because these young dudes over here crossing out a rival set over here, and these dudes is ready to go ride out, and Big U making a phone call, hey, look, bro, this is what they want. We've been pushing. We had the ceasefire. We had the 5K peace walk. That was on the news. I was on the news for that. We had the understanding, because some people don't want peace. Some other people would only be happy with a ceasefire, but not a peace treaty. And then other people from these communities are saying, well, we just want to understand it. Y'all don't come messing with us. Don't come over here disrespecting, and we won't come over there. This is the tone. I know y'all seen the Paru Peace Walk in Compton with then you seen the pop out with Kendrick Lamar. It's a new era. And a lot of this is sparked by the Damu Kiwe conversation, and Big U had a major part in a lot of those conversations. You know what I'm saying? So, but just like in history through COINTELPRO, anytime Marcus Garvey didn't have to commit a crime. In fact, the Freedom of Information Act paperwork, the FBI agents on the case told them, Sullivan and J. Edgar Hoover, look, we can't find him doing any illegal activity. No, you're gonna find some way so we could deport him. Him being West Indian, right? Just to bring an end to the positivity that he was doing, empowering his community. Now, I'm not saying Big U is an angel or a saint by far, because I'm not an angel or a saint. Every day is progress, kind of like the 12-step program for drug addicts and alcoholics. You know what I'm saying? Once you have that trauma within you and that rage in you, something could trigger you and set you off. You know what I'm saying? Some ways you have to relearn the way that you think. He's been excellent at it, hasn't been in trouble for over 20-something years, right? So I'm not saying he's the biggest angel and he might be have faults just like the rest of us. But what pains me the most is seeing these people that look like us, don't know what's going on. Watch these men intentionally run a campaign to implicate him in multiple crimes that we never heard or knew nothing about, or that might not have ever even happened, to get him locked up. You seen Whack 100 and Loose Cannon on No Jumper. You can't deny that. Those are receipts. Talking about Meek Mills, Rick Ross, whatever, implicating him in that. Lie snitching, right? Saying that he was there in the parking lot when this happened, right? You got them talking about he's supposed to call and told Loose Cannon and implicating him in knowing about and or having something to do with the unaliving of the late great Nipsey Hussle, right? These dudes obviously trying to put this brother in jail, and they're working with the authorities to do it. They said it was a RICO 2 years ago. The RICO papers still haven't dropped. There was a RICO investigation. How do you know that there was a RICO 2 years ago unless you're talking to the authorities and or going to the grand jury? How do you know these facts? These same facts that's in this complaint. But these devils, right? The government, this beast, Mystery Babylon in the book of Revelations, even they afford people that look like us something called due process. And it pains me in my heart to watch a leader from within my community be targeted by the federal government and people that look like us, who he sacrificed a majority of the time since I've known him, to helping these people who come from less fortunate situations. Don't even give them the bare minimum of due process before convict them in public opinion. The federal investigators knew what they were doing when they allowed these confidential sources online, dirtying and muddying up, tainting the jury pool before this brother even gets indicted, before the complaint was filed. They said that this is what Whack 100 and the Crip cop Christopher Lovejoy, the failed boxer, said that about a week or two, they had who was supposed to be the kid mother. I can't confirm or deny whether that was the victim's mother. I think it was 21 or 24-year-old out in Las Vegas. Condolences to his family. But assuming that that was his mother, saying that the mother and the sister are on the phone and they're saying that the police found Big U's DNA under the fingernails of the alleged victim. The complaint dropped. And you could go, I think it's page 37. And you find that the DNA that they took by search warrant from Big U and compared was not a match. In fact, they said it was inconclusive, but it's not a match. But these same confidential sources are on the internet before the complaint drops, tainting the jury pool. I'm not even sure that the brother can even get a fair trial. This is everywhere. The news, sports world, with the athletes that's being, or that they're saying Big U was allegedly extorted. Everybody heard this. Everybody's looking at this man like an animal. In fact, I heard a mountaineer, Adam 22, an old mountaineer, say Big Lucifer. Dehumanizing, looking at him like an animal. I heard SKG, a woman who wrote a book, Suge Knight's girl, that was her name at Death Row. She thought she was going to fuck her way to the top. She did a song with Pop, one of the only songs by Pop that I probably don't know by memory. I could quote any Pop song damn near you name right now. I'm a Pop fanatic, you know what I'm saying? But she in her book claimed that Nipsey Hussle locked her in a room or a studio or something, and while thugs beat her up. Well, that didn't work. So now he's no longer alive. She chases another man. The same woman was FaceTiming Whack 100 in the videos on Active Chucks. You could go check that out. And approaches him claiming that he put his hands on her. He locked her in the room and beat her. And he brings out his cameras. He's going to jail. He's going to destroy everything that he's built, and he's going to jail. And he's the hotel people say, "Do you want us to call the police?" He said, "Yeah, call the police." "Oh, he's a rat." And this is what Whack 100 pressed. Unbeknownst to the world, Whack 100 was already on Clubhouse and FaceTiming her, instructing her what to do, trying to incite Big U to react and respond with her violently because she assaulted him, threw a foreign object at him, and all of that. I got the audio and could play it right now, where Whack 100 said he had a 4-step plan. Part 2 was, we coming for them contracts, we coming for them contracts, and we coming for your reputation.
All right, I got the mute on. Yo, check, right? Whack 100 not here to defend himself, so I'm letting you know now. I will invite him if he want to come up here and defend what you're saying, because this is just your side of what's happening, and that's what I have you up here speaking on, right? We understand that.
Right. Well,
okay.
It's related directly to this case. Now, if he
I
wasn't,
don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you mentioned his name. I allowed that, so I'm letting you know that he's welcome to come up here if he feel you saying something
I got no
that's
problem
not right.
with that.
Okay, I just want to say that.
Especially when it's allegations being posted, but he could argue more so with himself. Because like I said, I could post. In fact, I played the audio in my live last night where he said, step 2, we coming for your reputation and them contracts. The contracts being over $2 million a year he was getting through the grid and intervention for developing options in the football for the kids, right?
All right, let's do this. Do it. Play any one of them right now. You made too many. Play one of them. Find any one to play.
Okay, let me go ahead.
You made a lot of accusations. Play any one right now. You know?
I'm finna get that right now. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying because you said a few things against him, and like I said,
no, it's right. Receipts, man. They receipt. That's how I am on my platform, right?
Okay.
So
we on that time. Because I listen to Whack. Whack say some good points though when he talk about the street, but I don't really get into the mechanics of what he has going on with individuals. But listening to certain things he say, I gotta admit that he do be on point, and I find him entertaining. You know what I mean? Like people find me entertaining and you entertaining. He's definitely a YouTube character, just like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he more than that though, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's funny and it's entertaining for everybody. And to that entertainment and what y'all calling content got people locked up in federal prison.
Now you're having a different conversation. There you go.
So what video do you want? It's
anyone.
No, I know which one I'm doing. Let me call him because he told me the exact timestamp. 1 second.
All right, well, we ain't gonna hold the show up for that. Oh, you can get it done real quick.
I could get it done real quick. I know I ran it, but I don't know the timestamp.
I'm just saying because a few things were said, and I think a receipt it should be in order right now.
Hey, real quick, what was that timestamp on that video where Whack was talking about he ran the play. His first step was this, his second step was coming for his yes, sir. Okay, I appreciate that, brother. An hour, 58 minutes. An hour, 50 minutes, 28 seconds. All right, I got you. Good looking, bro. I'm live. Shout out my boy Scandalous Los Angeles TV. That's one of my YouTubers, right? So I got it. Thank you for the patience. Let me turn off my Bluetooth so that you can hear the audio. All right, so that's off now. Bam. He said an hour, 50 minutes, 28 seconds.
I'm probably the only person online who shares every single one of my trades completely for free.
And you pop up with the niggas like, nigga, what you doing?
Can you hear that?
Yeah, perfect.
Funny. And then you had the niggas thinking, yeah, some niggas over there, I'm gonna send my homies over there to handle that for you. Oh, we dropped the meat them and we woke up because guess what? They know if they drop that bag or not. Real-time location
Damn,
share.
that was a commercial. It's coming right now.
With Life 360. Gross tell Rick Ross, look, I'm gonna keep them niggas off you. I'm gonna be with you. Rick Ross, bro. That's a sick nigga, bro. I keep telling niggas I work in phases. Let me see how smart you are, bro. What was the last bullet I lodged? I work in phases. So this is the mastermind. This is the orchestrator. This is his plan. And he's sending attacks at Big U. And the feds have this investigation going.
You're supposed to be playing. You're supposed to be playing Big U. What's the name talking? Whack talking.
No, it's gonna get to it because I was just explaining. It's about a minute and a half clip.
This is what Whack is wanting people to believe. But really, Big U know that Whack is CS2 back and Whack is a fed. So Whack wants to attack Big U. Listen to how this confidential source attacks Big U. I'm gonna give you the last three. All right, go ahead. I'm gonna give you the last four. I released the paperwork with the police. I know where this is going. Then I double back and release the signature line with him and Nipsey Hussle on the contract and told him to say another word. I'm gonna let him see what the contract is. You sent me. Right? I'm all ears. Then the female FKG. We're going at your character and the contracts you got over there, boy. And then now, it's your homeboy.
That was then the female. This is his plan. He sent the female SKG. We're coming after them contracts and your character.
Yeah, okay, that's what you said. Play it back where he said. I want to hear him.
No, that
say
was him saying it, bro.
Oh, okay. All right, well, they'll hear it back to see, you know.
Okay, here we go. We'll go back one more time.
Not all the way, just to where he was speaking.
Yeah, I think it's 150.
They're scared.
Now, don't go back from 150-20. Go back to about 151.
Big U, listen how this confidential source
It's almost there.
attacks Big U. I'm gonna give you the last three. All right, go ahead. I'm gonna give you the last four. I released the paperwork with the police. I know where this is going. Then I double back and release the signature line with him and Nipsey Hussle on the contract and told him to say another word. I'm gonna let him see what the contract is. You said, right? I'm all ears. Then the female FKG. We're going at your character and the contracts you got over there, boy. And then now, It's your homeboy.
So that was him listing 3 ways he targeted, orchestrated, and targeted. He said he moves in phases, right? And one of them was SKG. You could go on my YouTube and show your people SKG assaulting Big U, trying to provoke a violent response from Big U so they could go after his character and them $2 million, and he could lose those $2 million contracts that he has with the city of Los Angeles. So he can't argue with me. You can ask him about that, and you can play that for him. He'll be arguing with himself. These is facts, right? He's trying to get this man in jail. There's no other way I'm going to send a woman to attack a man, period, that I got a problem with. I'm going to address that man the same way I expect a man to address me when we have a disagreement or discourse. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, bro, it ain't that serious. The way you came at me was disrespectful. And if you can't leave me alone, then we need to do what we going to do right now, or we going to leave that alone. But he did that trying to provoke a response. And he was FaceTiming SKG while she attacked him. She was arrested that day.
All right. Point proven. Yo, like I said, Wack welcome to come up here and defend it if he choose to. But, you know, you said a lot of interesting things, man. I appreciate you clarifying that, and thanks for taking the time to call me to let me know I had the facts wrong about that being his sister. So, you know, my bad on that one. But, you know, we clarify things as men. You know, thank you, man. Tell them where to find you at, man.
At Active Chucks, that's ActiveChucks. That's on IG. That's on YouTube. And you can find me on Instagram the same way. IG, Active Chucks, YouTube, Active Chucks. Thank you for the platform. Mecca, you already know it's love. Peace to you, King, and salute to your whole family. Hey, free Big U, though. Salute. Down.
All right.
Count.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio.
Fresh out the can of 26,
Yeah.
He back on the strip, getting back in the mix.
Yeah.
What he mentions a gift.
Right.
You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit.
Yeah.
Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn.
Real.
Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops. Mecca Audio.
Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio.
And we gon' do it like we gon' do it like we keep it moving like we gotta do it like Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started